How we doing, everybody? Awesome. My name is Jason Brusky. I am the director of Wayland Family Services and Wayland Cares here in town. How many of you guys have seen me before in some capacity? Anybody? Cool. So most of you guys know that I normally come in, probably talk to you guys about making healthy decisions around drugs, healthy relationships, stuff like that. Is there anything ringing a bell for people? How many of you have I worked with potentially over the summer? Anybody in the summer? Awesome, one of you. So some of you guys might be familiar with this. Best part is the activity that we're going to do today. Even if you've done it before, there's no winning at this one. There is, but you can't cheat is what I meant to say. So let me ask you guys another question, because I'm going to be talking to you guys about communication today. I'm going to talk about how we learn things. I'm going to talk about how we influence each other, things of that nature. It's interactive. You get a chance to win things. Who likes winning things? Winning stuff is great, right? How many of you guys like candy? Awesome. Reason being, you have a chance to win stuff today. I am not supposed to give you candy. That being said, you have a chance to win some, and you might be able to eat it later when you're not on school property. But we're going to talk about that right now. Let me ask you all another question real quick. How many of you guys know things? Hopefully all of your hands are going up because you all know something. My question, the reason why I ask you that, how do we learn? How do we get to have information? If you have any thoughts on this, you can shout them out. How do we learn? From others? How else? What was that? Asking questions. So we're learning from others, we ask questions. What else? Google, okay. What else? What building are you guys all in right now? You're at school. We learn from other people. We learn because people that came before us tell us things. I'm sorry, what's that? Educating yourselves, absolutely. You can find information in different capacities. Get that information. So we learn because we seek information or because information is given to us. Does that all make sense? Yeah. Awesome. Now let me ask another question. Does it feel better to be right or does it feel better to be wrong? Right. Generally, we're striving to be right. How do we get to be right? You do wrong a whole lot, right? So basically, if you're wrong a whole lot, but you keep trying, and you keep learning from your mistakes, and you figure out different ways to gather that information, find different sources of information, find truthful information, then at that point in time, we get that information, and we start to have the ability to learn and do things. Is this all adding up for everybody? Awesome. How many of you guys are a fan of M&Ms? Awesome. I have a whole bunch of them right here. As you can see, I have a big old tub of M&Ms here. Here's what we're going to do. I need everybody's attention real quick. I know for a fact that all of you guys have some piece of technology with you right now. Yes. So you might have a phone, you might have a computer, something like that. Couple ground rules. You're allowed to use that piece of technology as like a notes app right now, in the sense that you can, when I ask you to put down an answer, you can record it there so that you can keep yourself accountable. So if you have like a notes app on your phone or something like that, instead of using a piece of paper, you are allowed to use it. Rule number 2, you can't use it to text people, you can't use it for social media, you can't use it to look things up on Google, anything like that. The only thing you can do is use it as a recording mechanism. Does that make sense to everybody? Awesome. So what I'm going to ask you guys all to do first, you're allowed to come up and look at this. You're allowed to touch it, you're allowed not to open it, but you're allowed to like move it around, look at it, examine it, anything like that. I will hold it for you in that capacity so I make sure nobody does anything silly. But I want you to put down either a 1 or an A to indicate that it's your first answer. You may not talk to anybody else. So this is a silent activity other than coming up and looking right now. You're going to come up, you're going to take a look at this, I'll walk around with it, and I want you to take a guess and put a number in that column 1 or column A of how many M&Ms you think are in this tub. All right? I'll start walking around it over here and I'll work my way around. So basically, you're trying to make a guess without talking to anybody else right now of how many M&Ms are in this tub.
Oh, the big M&Ms.
They're big, they're small. Sure can. I did not. you're not conferring with each other, if you're not talking with each other, if you basically you're just looking, I'll walk around and then you're welcome to come up if you want as well. And I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. You pass it around if you want, you cannot open it. Do not show your answers to anybody else. Do not talk to anybody else about your answer. Don't talk to each other about your answers. Just put down an answer. Don't share them, please. Keep your stuff to yourself, everybody. To yourself. Let's not be chatting. I know it's kind of boring, but at the same time, it should be something exciting you can look at.
Why did you just Google how to test
Take your time. There's multiple sessions to this, so you'll learn more as we go. All right, in about 30 seconds, we're going to wrap this part up, and I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Awesome. Actually, that 30 seconds went a lot quicker, so here we go. All right, everybody, a couple of questions for you. What did I ask you to do? I'm sorry, what was that?
Write down the number.
Write down the number, yeah. So basically, I asked you to look at the container, not talk to anybody else. Let me ask you another question. Did you guys not talk to anybody else? I mean, you were talking to somebody. I heard a lot of voices. So that's step one. In general, as far as communication and stuff like that, when people ask you to do things, is it always easy to do them? No. When people ask you to do things, do you automatically assume kind of A, that either you know what's about to happen, or B, that there's a way to break the rules, or what the consequences are and what I ask you to do? Is anybody getting in trouble right now? No. Like, I haven't yelled at anybody. I'm not going to. I'm not going to, like, tell on you or anything like that. The risk level of this is pretty low. How many of you guys had a pretty good idea as soon as I picked up a jar of M&Ms and I put them out here that we were going to do something involving guessing how many M&Ms were in it? Makes sense, right? Absolutely. Low risk, high risk? Low risk, right? We're talking about M&Ms here. Nobody's dying. This isn't like determining your future or anything like that. But it is fun, and there's a little bit of a challenge in the sense you might win some M&Ms. So I asked you guys all to take a look at it, not talk to anybody else, not confirm, and to take a guess at how many M&Ms are in the jar, right? How many of you guys can honestly say that you haven't discussed theory with anybody yet? If you can honestly say that you just have a number in your head and you haven't talked to anybody, go ahead and raise your hand. Awesome. So I'm going to go with about 10% of you guys who followed the rules so far. That's normal. I'm not mad. That's totally fine. That being said, we always weigh those options. We weigh those things of like, what are the consequences of this? Can I still participate? Is this still going to be fun? Like, if I don't follow the rules, what's going to happen? These are decisions that we make every day. We're also influenced every day in the sense of how badly do I want to win? How much am I willing to break the rules? How much am I willing to kind of go outside the lines to get the information that I need? So right now we're going to share a little bit of that. How many of you guys have an answer for column 1? Everybody have a guess? Who wants to share what they guessed so far? My friend up there. How many?
543.
543, you said? All right, pause right there. Wait. I hear laughter. I hear people probably making some not so silent judgments. What's your name, my friend? Will. Great name. My son's name is Will. That being said, Will, how did you get to 543? Just a guess. Awesome. I'm going to say blind guess. Once again, let me ask you another question. Do you care if you win or not? No. Would it be awesome if you win?
Yeah.
Can you also go down the street and buy yourself a bag of M&Ms if you want to? Sure. So it'd be really cool if you won, but basically your investment level, I'm going to say on this, is probably on the lower side of being invested right now due to the fact that like you're just like, I just made a guess, which is totally fine. No judgment on that whatsoever. How about you? 168? All right. Let me ask you, what was your method for guessing? Random. Okay. So just a random guess once again. I'm going to take somebody from over here. Does anybody want to share over here? Or are you guys keeping it to yourself so far? Go for it.
What? Okay, I got 85.
85?
Yes.
Okay. So we have 85. And what was your method?
I looked at the bottom and I was like, okay, how many big M&Ms can go there? And I looked at the top. I'm like, how many big M&Ms can fit in the height?
Okay. So we're starting to look at like a volume type of thing, / size. Yep, so there's small M&Ms, there's large M&Ms. So we're looking at the fact that there's a variety, all of that stuff. How much could fit in the container? How many? 180? All right, so we have 180. And what was your method? Same thing? All right, I'm going to pause on this section. There's not many more chances, I promise. Anybody over here?
I said 196.
196?
Yes.
All right. So we got 196, and what was your method?
You said 250.
What was that?
I just felt it.
A what?
I just got the 5.
Okay, so the vibe. Feeling the vibe. 237?
237.
Okay. And your method?
Random.
Random. And I'll take one more answer right now. Right here.
I said 110.
110. In your method?
I just felt like it was bigger than 100.
I'm sorry, what was it?
I just felt like it was bigger than 100.
Okay, bigger than 100. All right. All right. So everybody, can I have your attention, please? Everybody? Everybody. You'll have more chances to talk, I promise. So right now, we have a low guess of everybody that we polled so far of 85. We have a high guess of 543. I don't math well. That's a lot. Basically, the reason why I put that out there is that's a pretty big range. Once again, I have a container of M&Ms. Nothing has changed since the last time I shared it with you. The only thing that you've gotten now is you've gotten a little bit of insight in the sense that you know that somebody that was going from volume, size, and fit, kind of did some math, some science on this, said 85. Another person that kind of had some science-y things behind it was at 180. Other than that, everybody else was like, I took a vibe, it was random, thought it was more than 100, I took a big guess, whatever, and then all of a sudden you have everything from that 180 all the way up to 5-something. What I will tell you, I will give you one bit of information. The information that I'll give you is the actual number of M&Ms in that jar is in fact between the range of 85 and 543. So it's not below 85 and it's not above 543. So, here's what I'm going to ask you all to do next. And please, please, please try your best to do this. You guys ready? In column B, you can talk to one person in this room. I don't care what person it is, but you can go up to one person in this room and you can ask them any questions on their theory. You can ask them any questions you have about the M&Ms, and you guys can confer with them. I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes to go find your person, talk to them, and make another guess.
Hello, person.
Hi. How many? Give me a second. Come back to me in like 3 minutes. Come back in 3 minutes.
I'm sitting alone. Hello. Brown Yes,
What's that?
I counted like vaguely around 15 on the bottom, plus it's like 20 layers of I think that might be a bit more. Yeah.
Fine plus.
See like 280 or like 350.
one person about the M&M. One person only, guys.
Alright, if we're just back there, do you know that the top was 1 each, which is a ruler?
Anybody? Anybody? Everybody good with the M&Ms? All right, let me get your attention back again. So, with all the information that I gave you so far, you got a chance to look at them again, you got a little bit of base level information from people's guesses. What was the next thing that I told you could do? You talked to one person. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of you guys have the same answer that you started with right now? All right, handful of you, absolutely. For somebody who has the same answer that you started with, why is your answer the same right now? If you have an answer to that, go ahead and raise your hand.
Luke told me it was right.
Luke told you it was right. Awesome, all right. I don't know who Luke is, but Luke told me. Why else is your answer the same? I can't hear when other people are talking, guys. I need one person at a time. Because you're too lazy to change it, absolutely. What else? Anybody who has the same answer? Guys, I can't hear because I hear people talking. So something about your peers? You want to respect your peers. All right? I saw somebody's hand over here. No, not yet. Is your guess the same as it was the first time? So if your guess was the same, why is it the same? Anybody else? All right. Go ahead. Sorry, what? I still could hear. Everybody answers was different. Okay. So everybody was. Can I have your attention, please? Everybody. Everybody. Thank you. So here's the deal. The same thing whether we're talking about M&Ms or we're talking about how we make decisions in life. Guys, it applies universally. This is a super low risk thing. We're just talking about M&Ms. We're just talking about potentially winning some candy. That being said, how many of you guys have ever taken somebody at their word? Because Luke told me it was right, and I'm not saying this has anything to do with M&Ms, but like, let's say that you had something that you needed an answer to, you needed help with, anything like that, and you went to a friend, and your friend was like, do this. Has anybody ever done that before? Absolutely. How many of you guys have had that experience when your friend was wrong? Absolutely. Hopefully what you asked them for, not a big deal. Everything's okay, everything worked out for you. Sometimes, hey guys, sometimes it's not. Because at that point in time, we start to like just take people's advice for things, and people need to build trust. We need to build credibility. In the sense that I can stand here and tell you things all day long. You guys don't know me. That being said, people that you do know, and hopefully you trust to a degree, have some faith in what I have to say because I have certain credentials, I have a job, things like that. I've been doing this for a long time. That I probably have some validity in what I have to say. That being said, I could come in here and make things up, tell you lies, tell you all kinds of things, but it wouldn't be a whole lot of fun for me and it also wouldn't be very effective. But people need to earn credibility. For those of you guys who did change your answer, actually we're going to pause for 1 second. In addition to that, you have things like too lazy to change. How many of you guys have just done something the same way forever and ever because you don't want to learn a new way? I'm going to share a secret with you all right now. How many of you guys tie your shoes on a fairly regular basis? I'm 43 years old. I still tie my shoes by making 2 bunny ears and then tying them over and pulling them close. My kids make fun of me. And it's one of those things where I've learned how to do it the other way, but it's one of those things where I've done that my entire life and it works. Thus, for certain things like that, you just don't care to learn another method. Sometimes you're just too lazy to change. Sometimes you get really accustomed to something and it feels easy, even though it might be harder, and there might be a more efficient way to do it. In addition to that, somebody said, I wanted to respect my peers. Guys, I wanted to respect my peers. I didn't want to bother them. You told me to only talk to one person. They were already talking to somebody, so I didn't reach out to talk to them. I just kept that answer. That's also true. How many of you guys have not done something because it might have been uncomfortable for you to do the thing that you wanted to do? We all do this stuff every day. We have the ability to make choices. We have the ability to seek that information from where we want to seek it. Now, for those of you guys who did change your answers, somebody who changed their answer and that wants to share why they changed, go ahead and let me know.
I talked with someone else and they used math instead of just guessing as well, and so I kind of combined my original answer with theirs.
Okay. So there's a combo answer. And there seemed to be a little bit of logic in it because there was some math involved. And in theory, math is a very finite and certain thing that can't be bent.
I felt like the answer was going to be bigger than the other answers that were on the board.
Okay. So basically, you took some information that was provided to you. You looked at that info. You heard, like, these are the answers. It's between this range and this range. And you used a little bit of logic associated with what the information you had. And you changed your answer. What else?
I changed my answer. I just kind of went in the middle of the 2 answers.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to call that average. In the sense that I did give you the information that it was between 85 and 543. So you knew it had to be somewhere in the middle of there?
Yeah.
Let me guess, you probably guessed somewhere around 300. Okay, but all right, so somewhere in the middle. What else? Who else changed their answer? You changed it? So for those of you guys who changed your answer, let's hear a handful of the answers that you now have. What was your current guess? 280? 280. 250? I'll take 2 more from over here, right here. 222. And one more, I'll go right there.
No, 123.
123? All right, I'll take one from this section. 370? And I'll take one from this section if you guys want to share. Anybody? What? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. 226. And I'll take one from over here. I'm sorry, what? 290? 98. 298. All right, can I have your attention? So here's the deal. We did a little bit of information. We found out that we get information in different ways. We have some different guesses now. So basically, we have a much smaller range, ranging from 123 now to a high of 370. What I can tell you is originally, the low number was 85 with a high number of 543.
85?
That was the original low number. I told you that the answer was somewhere between 85 and 543. At this point in time, we've marginalized, we make that range smaller to 123 to 370. What I can tell you, and this is the only other bit of information I'm going to tell you right now, is that the answer is not within that range. So now you have information that the answer is either below 123 or above 370. So it's either between 370 and 543, or it is between 85 and 123. Pause. I'm going to give you guys another chance right now. You can now crowdsource, which means you can talk to anybody you want in this room. You can ask whatever questions you want to anybody in this room. And I'm going to give you 5 more minutes to come up with your answer. You can call 3.
Can I look at the jar again?
Yeah, absolutely. We have until 2:11, right? You guys have about 2 to 3 more minutes. 2 minutes. You can see the jar again. Thank you.
That would have been crazy. It has to be reliable. I don't know what you guys are at all.
It's got like 1 more minute. All right, like 30 seconds, everybody. Ten, 9, 7, 6. All right, everybody. Bring it back. Start to make up your final decisions based off of talking to anybody you wanted to, but I have a couple more questions for y'all. All right, if I'm gonna have your attention, please. Thank you. All right, so a couple of questions before we get into answers. When you start to ask more people information, what do you get?
More answers.
More answers. Are all those answers right? No. When we're asking questions, especially when it's about important things, it's important to know where you're getting your information from, right? How do we know when we're getting good information from people? Anybody?
When there's other people corroborating it, I guess.
Sure. When other people corroborate it, and it's basically one of those things where you know there's some validity behind what you're getting. What else? I saw another hand over here, I thought.
Fame.
What was that?
Fame.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Fame.
Fame? Maybe fame? Maybe that's right, maybe it's wrong. What else? How do we know we're getting good information? Let me ask you guys another question. How many of you guys have ever had to write a paper for school? Absolutely, or do a report or anything like that. What do you typically have to provide with that report? I'm sorry, what was that?
Evidence, like social security.
Yep, you have to show your source material, your evidence. You have to either put a bibliography together or some sort of notes or something like that that shows where you got that information from. Are there select sources that you're allowed to use and some that you're not allowed to use? Sure. And it's one of those things where we know things like Wikipedia, for instance. Is that a credible source that you're allowed to cite? Some people said yes, some people no. But generally speaking, it's one of those things where we know that things that can be editable, things that can change, that anybody can go in and change and anybody can influence you on, it doesn't necessarily create better information, it just creates more information. I know this is also contradictory in the sense that when I said you could ask one person, you could ask that person, and some people may have gotten information from that person. Maybe you go to that trusted person that you know. Maybe that's your friend, maybe that's a family member, maybe it's a teacher, a trusted adult when you're caring about things that you need to get in touch with. That being said, you need to do your homework to know where you're getting that information from and why you're going to that person. We get information everywhere in life. We can ask questions on social media. We can ask questions from our friend. We can go to Google. We can go to websites. We can talk to our teachers. We can do all this stuff. It's on you to figure out if that information is valid. Guessing information on a pile of M&Ms, once again, super low risk. Nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's life's on the line. There's no real consequences to getting this right or wrong, other than the fact that if you didn't manage to guess the number of M&Ms and you want some, you better hope that whoever did is feeling generous and wants to share those M&Ms. That being said as well, when the stakes are a little bit higher, when you're looking for information about things about your future, things that are inherently more risky, be it substance, be it relationships, be it how to navigate a tricky situation, it's important to find that person that you trust, and it's important to reach out about that. But let's get back to having some fun and talking about M&Ms. So I just let you guys crowdsource, and I just let you guys talk to all your people and figure out different ways to get to the number. Who has some new guesses? Blue. Middle row. You. What? 210? All right, 210. What else? Guys, simmer down. 417. Did you say 410? I can't hear it, guys. I need one at a time. 432. 432. How much? You say 65? All right. I'm going to take a couple from over here. What? 405? 405. I'll take one from over here. 99. I'll take one more. I'm sorry, what? 4 what? 470? Thank you. Hey guys, nobody's going to win if I can't hear you. All right. I'm going to ask 3 people in this room to stand up in a second. The 3 people I'm going to ask to stand up, my friend right here, my friend right there, all the way on the end, and my friend right there. So, you can't applaud for them, they were really smart. Let me ask you guys a question. For those of you guys who are standing up, why do I think I just asked you to stand up? What?
No, why?
Why did I ask you to stand up?
Why did he tell you to stand up?
You don't know yet, right? All I told him to do is stand up. What I can tell you all is that these 3 people did the same thing. When I told you in the very beginning, and I said, you can talk to one person. You can come talk to one person, you can talk to anybody in this room. Who was the one person in this room that definitively knew how many M&Ms were in that jar? Me. The 3 of them came and talked to me. Is it, so basically, would it be logical for you to think that you can't ask me?
Yes.
Absolutely, why? Because it's cheating, or that you've been conditioned in some way. You guys sit down, by the way. You've been conditioned in some capacity to think that it's not okay to go to the answer to the person that has the answer. In the sense that if this is a contest, and this is one of those things where like you can win this, generally speaking, I'm not going to give you that answer. That's a logical answer. We've been conditioned in a lot of ways to feel these things. That being said, if you know where to go to get an answer, what's the best way to get the answer? Go to that person and ask them. What's the worst thing that can happen when you ask somebody something? They'll say no. Has anything changed? No. You're in the same exact spot that you were. So the worst thing that can happen is no. If we get comfortable with hearing no or try harder, then you will. And you'll find another way around it, and you'll find that information. You can get the information you need if you ask. You can get the help you need if you ask. You guys all just sat through a speaker with Eric D'Addario. He talked to you all about reaching out and asking for help. All about reaching out and figuring out how you can help other people. The one thing you can do always is help yourself, whether it's something serious like that, whether it's about little things. The more you ask and the more you seek and the more you think about it, the more you can get. The answer is 403. Thank you, everybody. For the 3 people who guessed it, I'll let you guys figure out how you want to share these.